Hello everyone, and welcome to 3 Wow and 1 Promise. Today we will do some reading, because honestly, if we can't read, what AI literacy are we talking about? Let's see the very well discussed Gen AI divide, State of AI in Business report. That it's not just MIT report, it's created by MIT Nanda. And this report was widely quoted. Just a few titles. Nearly 95% of companies saw zero return on in-house AI investments, according to a new MIT study. Little to no measurable impact. This is from Entrepreneur. Axios. MIT's study on AI profits rattles tech investors. Then The Hill. Companies have invested billions into AI, 90% getting zero return. Let's open this report. First sentence. It says, despite 30 to 40 billion in enterprise investment into Gen AI, this report uncovers a surprising result in that 95% of organizations are getting zero return. My assumption is that everyone just stopped reading here, though they shouldn't. Because if we look further, we can see that this report has a surprising amount of structured interviews. Do you know how many people interviews they conducted? 52. How in the world are you supposed to make any conclusions on that number of people you talk to? They also say that they analyzed 3 public implementations, while they don't really describe what exactly it is. And when we read closer and read through this report, we can see that it was created by, as I said, not MIT, but MIT Nanda. And if you ever read this report, you will see that they keep repeating Nanda after MCP and A2A protocols, trying to put themselves in the same line of known protocols. So, in a nutshell, this report, State of AI in Business, is just 23 pages of an advertisement for MIT Nanda project. The analysis is sloppy. Sometimes they contradict themselves. Sometimes it's just an ode to ChatGPT, which means that they just didn't cover the whole richness of all other model providers. Only on the page 8, there is some useful piece of information. While official enterprise initiatives remain stuck on the wrong side of the Gen AI divide, employees are already crossing it through personal AI tools. And they demonstrate, actually, in this report conducted with 52 respondents, that 90% of employees use LM regularly. Again, what is even the point of reading and discussing this report if it's such an inconclusive amount of data? I think we can just applaud these people from MIT Nanda to inserting themselves in the narrative and trying to establish a new term, Gen AI divide. I hope they will not succeed. And here is the actual blurb that I would consider a pure advertisement. The infrastructure foundations for this transformation are already emerging through protocols like MCP, A2A, and Nanda, which enable not just agent interoperability, but autonomous web navigation. In agentic web, it's something that MIT Nanda pushes, systems will autonomously discover optimal vendors and evaluate solutions without human research, establish dynamic API integrations in real time without pre-built connectors, execute trustless transactions through blockchain-enabled smart contracts, and develop emergent workflows that self-optimize across multiple platforms and organizational boundaries. So my request to media and to people out there who are afraid that AI will conquer us, it's possible if you don't know how to read, if you don't know how to analyze what you see in front of your eyes, and if you don't ask questions. So please read with your eyes open. My second wow is about the paper that is written by Mustafa Suleyman that currently works at Microsoft AI. He was one of the co-founder of DeepMind, and then he co-founded Inflection AI, which was basically acqui-hired by Microsoft. Mustafa Suleyman wrote a paper with the name "We Must Build AI for People, not to be a person. I deeply agree with Mustafa Suleyman that AI, which is optimized to create the illusion of consciousness, will be perceived by many people as conscious. The problem here, unfortunately, is not AI. The problem here is people who tend to believe fraud calls, fraud emails. They tend to be very naive and easy to lie to. They're very trusting. Also, there's a bunch of people who are mentally unstable, and having something in your fingertips that is so coherent and so confident might actually play with your mental state even more. This is a good start to discuss the problem that he calls seemingly conscious AI. I'm not sure a new term is needed. Multiplying terms, I don't feel helps with that. It does share his fear about perceived consciousness of AI. There are a few things that I especially liked in his essay. A few times he says, it's worth underscoring. There is at present no evidence my imagined AI system would not actually be conscious, but it would imitate consciousness in such a convincing way that it would be indistinguishable from a claim that you or I might make to one another about our own consciousness. It's a long article. It's more like his thinking process about it. Of course, having Microsoft team and resources behind it might help in understanding this problem and setting it right. I just want everyone to think about it and to be aware at every point of your life that AI cannot be conscious. Whatever people tell you, whatever AI tells you, AI is an algorithm with very complicated and sophisticated reward optimization. It might be engineered by a human to feel like conscious being, but it's not conscious. Remember, it's impossible for the consciousness emerge in AI, but human actors might engineer it that way that you will think that AI has some sentience. It doesn't. It doesn't. Repeat it every time you think it is, and that way you will save yourself and you will save your own consciousness and you will be sane. It surprises me that actually that's needed to be discussed, but if we think about how many people out there are prone to believe in all sorts of theories, in all sorts of disinformation, thinking that AI might be sentient is just a small part of it. So read more, think more, and develop what might be called questioning mindset. In AI literacy series, we discuss that it's very important to understand how to read with AI, how to write with AI, how to create with AI. But one of the most important skills with AI becomes asking the right questions. Hi there! If you're new to this channel, my name is Ksenia Se. I'm founder of Turing Post, and this is an optimistic way to tell you what happened last week in AI, called 3 wows and 1 promise, and it's very, very unconventional. Please subscribe. And here, with the paper we just discussed in the first wow, with the seemingly conscious AI, keep asking questions, and that will save you. To finish my 3 wows, I went with an article from New York Times. I told you it will be a lot of reading today. The name of this article, AI may be just kind of ordinary. And throughout my career as an AI interpreter, AI explainer, AI storyteller, that's what I'm trying to say. AI is super powerful tool. It's not magic. It's not Skynet. It's not HAL 9000 from Space Odyssey. AI and generative AI is a tool. In this opinion column by David Wallace Wells, he wrote, AI hype has evolved too, passing out of its prophetic phase into something more quotidian. A pattern familiar from our experience with nuclear proliferation, climate change, and pandemic risk, among other charismatic megatraumas. And by that, he means that AI just began to settle like sediment into the corners of our lives. Talking about AI bubble, the main AI bubble I hope that will burst is this perception of AI being superhuman. It's super powerful in many dimensions that people are not capable. Forgive me this example, but calculator is much more powerful and intelligent, solving some math problems than many of us humans are. I like what he wrote. One definition of normal in this context is not superhuman, not self-replicating, and not self-liberated from oversight and control. It's more like electricity. We talk about it. It's more like immensely useful tool. It's more like a toolbox or magician kit that if you know how to use, you might look like a magician. And let's learn that. I want to finish with another quote from this article. This isn't a blueprint of the world to come, just one speculative glimpse. Perhaps the course of the past year should reassure us that we are not about to sleepwalk into an encounter with Skynet. But it probably shouldn't give us that much confidence that we have all that clear an idea of what's coming next. And here comes one promise. One promise is from me this time. I promise you that we will keep pushing the agenda of AI literacy. We will keep telling what it means to be with AI, to live with AI, to use it as a powerful tool, and to be magician yourself. Remember, the only real human here is you. And just today I received a newsletter from my friend Helen Todd, and she just started a mature YouTube channel where she creates everything is made by AI. Lyrics, music, animation, everything. She creates this AI literacy series for toddlers. And one song specifically got me thinking even more, and I want you to hear it.
But only you are real, only you are true. More than all the lights, more than what they do.
Thank you for watching. These topics are very important to discuss. And though my 3 vows and 1 promise are said to be an optimistic way to talk about AI, sometimes we need to argue, sometimes we need to uncover some things, sometimes we need to call bullshit. And that's also part of being optimistic, because I deeply believe in AI. I deeply believe it's a super powerful tool that makes us humans much more inventive, much more creative. In my opinion, AI will give us time not to be super productive even, though you can be super productive with AI. It will give us time to stare at the wall and come up with phenomenal ideas that we humans are famous for. Subscribe to this channel and leave me what you think about it.